DJs call me from all over the world, from London, from Amsterdam, from everywhere, just wanting to play.
The entertainment aspect came from what would be Studio 54. That certainly was the concept. Outrageous, everyone coming together. Music held everything and everyone together, and the DJ just stood above it all, and we were illuminated by lights.
I think Miami has a Latin and tribal feeling that will always be there, and it's like representing the soul of the culture.
From 85 to 90, I did live in Miami, Florida, and it's pretty much where I did get a start as far as like people knowing who I was. I started making records in Florida. As a producer, my first song got signed to Atlantic Records.
Later, as years went on, it's kind of like slowly it got to be more about, okay, who's DJing at the club tonight?
I think he interprets the crowd, understands where they are in the night.
He keeps the crowd alive, he has a vibe.
Okay, they play good, but I don't think you should get paid like that much money.
My mother remembers me in church, 2 years old, screaming, singing out of the top of my lungs. I used to cut paper records out and ask her to play them on the record player.
I come from a really diverse background, always listening to soul growing up, and Stevie Wonder, Chaka Khan.
I remember, as a kid standing in one of these rooms and like, wow, this is a dream of mine to play for an audience like this, and I'm playing for 10, 20,000 people sometimes, and I can't believe it.
I think back to myself as that kid who loved turntables and keyboards and tape decks and roller skates, roller discos and all that.
When my brother wasn't DJing, I'd jump on the turntables and I didn't know what I was doing, but I was just playing music, and then I just really enjoyed doing it. So I would stay home and make tapes all day, for friends.
When I was in college in Tampa, I started DJing the fraternity and sorority parties, kind of by default. There was nobody else who really wanted to do it, so I would lug this big coffin with 2 turntables and a mixer around campus and do these parties.
I started getting offers to do mobile DJ work, and and I really enjoyed it.
I was that little boy near the jukebox or by the band, or when I was even not even 10 years old yet, always attracted to the instruments and the music and anything that had to do with it. So once I discovered that there was this technique called, live mixing, spinning, DJing, whatever you want to call it, I immediately wanted to do it, try it. I wanted to have 2 turntables and a mixer to do it myself. So I had one of my first gigs was playing at my older brother's proms. I do go back to the early 70s as far as collecting records and discovering the art of being a DJ. When I first heard an 8-track tape of another DJ, I was just overwhelmed because I had already had a passion for 7 inches and LPs and instruments, and it was like, oh my God, what's this?
Learning how to DJ and then really getting interested in, in sounds and the way music was put together and producing. And so that's how it grew for me, and it was a whole evolution of just and I got into the whole recording end of it, and learning all, how to work all the recording instruments and building my own recording studio.
I'm more well known, I think, for my bitch tracks, you know, where it's just some track with some really, for lack of a better way to put it, bitchy sayings, you know. At first, some of the people were taken back. Like I had this one guy come up to me one day and he goes, God, you know, for the last 20 minutes, all I've heard out of the music is fuck, 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 fuck. And I'm like, yeah, but you guys do nothing but fuck, 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 fuck. So what are you bitching about?
My style is very tribal and, you know, kind of like, I wouldn't say, there's a little bit of trance in my set, not much, but it's very tribal, kind of like sexy drums, you know, it's like the vibe. And a little bit of vocals, which I don't hear many DJs playing.
I always loved going in to dance. And so I always think of it and I'm like, well, would I dance to this? Or am I playing this just to be dramatic and theatrical and just to say, hey, look at me, I'm this dramatic drama DJ.
I try to please everybody. Like I play a variety of stuff. I mean, in the beginning, I play a lot of vocals, you know, because they're pretty much sitting around drinking, and I've learned that that gets them like in the mood, you know, because after you've had like 3 or 4 cocktails and you've heard all your favorite songs, you're ready to like look for that trick. And then, you know, generally then I work my way into that more tribal, kind of a deeper, harder sound, and then throw in bitch tracks and some other vocals in between, and it pretty much works.
You're in the studio, you're really knocking your brains like to come up with another anthem, you know. Everybody's, they're going to expect only an anthem out of you, you know. Where it's hard, you know, like that's what I want when I'm in the studio, you know. I just don't want an okay project, you know, that, oh, that mix was just all right. You know, I want something that's going to really stand out in a night, and it could be played in the peak of the night, you know, so.
I have all these acapellas, and you know, acapellas, you know, sometimes on the black market can sell for a lot of money. So what I do is I burn them to CD, and I have things queued up a lot of times because a lot of the records I play, as great as they are, have no vocals. So I just go the extra yard and make them interesting by overlaying an acapella sometimes over these tracks.
A secret weapon is something you pull out from a creative records you had 7 years ago, that all of a sudden you say, oh, tonight I want to play this, and you find some way to work it into your set, and you create magic with it all over again.
And you know, the only thing that can excite, that makes the crowd jump up, is when a ride or a hi-hat comes in, like just like jump up. But for me, that's not enough sometimes. You know, it's like after 2, 3 times, 4 times playing it, it was like, you know. So I might take a Sandy B acapella and just like, got me feeling good, and you know, loop it, filter it down, and it almost is like, it's like live remixing.
I have samplers that I bring. I have this digital delay, you know, it's like an effects processing unit. It kind of plays with the music a little bit and swirls it around, and I have this other little effects unit where, you know, I fill it up with samples. Like, you know, I'll do it in my studio, little vocal bits and little maybe drum loops and stuff, and play with that throughout the night. A
secret weapon is something you could create in a in your home, you know, taking a couple records, putting them, playing them at the same time, throwing an a cappella on top of it, maybe recording it that way so when you play it back, or doing it live, you know. I mean, these are all things we call secret weapons.
Probably when I get out my flashlight, it's like usually like, all right, I'm like rocking for real now. But my flashlight is also, it's part of like a show. You know what I mean? Like, even though I feel silly doing it, sometimes I use it just to like get people to realize that I'm playing something new, or there's about to be a change in the song that's gonna like be, you know, to get your attention. And which you probably will without the flashlight anyway, but it enhances it. And I do it also because a lot of the light men don't really know the new stuff.
I bring a guy in, his name is Mitch Poland from New York. He does he does lights for me at Roxy. And we really worked well together. He knows, like, he watches my hands, you know, just to see when I'm gonna do something or a trick, and he's really right on point, you know, with lighting. And I really enjoy his work. And I think, you know, we complement each other. And it's important, you know, some people think, oh, lighting is whatever, you know, but it creates part of the vibe and the atmosphere in the room. So.
These are my babies. I use almost all CDs.
Really?
I transfer my vinyl onto CD. Things I can do with it, like slows it down, like a record would. And this one creates kind of a phasing sound. This one I like using because it loops, so it repeats phrases of the CD over again, or say you want to repeat a whole verse, chorus,
right?
Repeat the break. Or I can take certain beats I like from a song and not play the song, just play the beats, and then with the CD player play something over those beats. If people feel like they're hearing a new version of a song when you do, you know, little tricks to it. These are my optical CDs, and they equal many more records than any DJ would travel with in terms of record cases, because 74 minutes holds a variety of songs. It's so much easier to travel with, and I don't have to check them, get them lost. I've never had my records stolen or anything. It's beneficial because I have a selection, but maybe even harder because I have so much to choose from. I pretty much play on the fly. I don't really want to plan out before the crowd gets here what I'm going to play. I'd rather be spontaneous, kind of cater to what they want.
The energy that's going from up to the booth to the crowd is a direct line.
I really try to watch the crowd as a whole, you know, and get signals from it. It's hard to tell sometimes. Sometimes you don't know, you know, you play in these different cities and all these crowds react differently, you know. Some scream and, you know, they scream your name all night and they really put their hands in the air on, you know, these big sections and build-ups and stuff. And then some crowds, they really don't respond like that, and then it's hard to read sometimes. Like when I go to LA, they're not like that. But they, at the end of the night, they're applauding for 5 minutes straight, you know, like, and they, you know, they welcome me and acknowledge that they really enjoyed it.
I think it's instinctual with, you know, a jock like myself who's been doing this many, many years. You can pretty much read a crowd. You can, you know, you can pretty much see by the energy level.
I know sometimes when my crowd does not want to hear vocals, I do not play a vocal because I sense them. I'll play one, and if I see the energy drop, I know what they want.
And it doesn't have to be an anthem-y, build-up-y type record. You know, you, with the amount of wattage that's here, can, if if you know the song or you know what you're doing with the crossover and stuff, you can make that impact with a song. It doesn't have, it doesn't matter what year it came out and all
My booth is very accessible. I've always been able to greet people and at the same time let them know that I am working and this is my office and that I only have so much time to pay attention to whoever's coming in. And usually the people that will come up have intelligent questions coming from someone who knows music. The people that come up usually have what I call DJ booth etiquette.
I stand around and I talk to people, but the people that I talk to are basically friends. And so they pretty much know, like, if I'm getting ready to mix the record, that they have to be quiet. I don't like, I think it's rude when I'm mixing a record and someone yells through the window trying to get my attention, and I generally put my finger up to let them know, like, give me a minute, and they continue to yell, that annoys me.
You want to be polite, you want to talk to a lot of these guys that want to bring you their music, but also, I'm there to showcase my talent also, and so it's very distracting, you want to talk to these guys and exchange cards and, music and all that, but it's not the time when somebody's working. And some people don't understand that, and they think they could just keep conversating with you.
Requests. I don't mind taking requests, but short of you handing me money, you have no right to come up and get in my face 5 minutes later with, oh, well, why didn't you play my song,
I'm very private when I'm in the booth. And then unless it's somebody I really know, they don't come in my booth. Because the people that I know that come in my booth, they know when to come say hi. How to just say hi, what's up, thank you, blah, 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 and go.
I won't play a record twice. And if I do, you can guarantee that I got paid $20 by the person that asked me to play that record again, because otherwise I won't do it. It's like, I'm here for as long as I'm here, you've been here for an hour, and it's not my fault that you came out now and I played the record already. You know what I mean? But I think about the other people that have been here as long as I have. Would you want to hear the same 5 songs over and over again? It's like, if you want that, turn on the radio. That's what they do on the radio. They kill music that way.
There have been times when, I started and I'm playing and people are tapping on my back, while I'm in the middle of a mix, and it's just, you don't do that, It's work, I'm still working, and then people on the dance floor don't know that you're going through all this up there. They just think like you're having a bad night.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning, the person that's up there right in their face right now is drunk. It's like, ugh, whatever, let me get my mess interpreter. I don't understand what you're saying. Hold on to your man, don't hold on to the pole. Look at the pole, it's bent.
If you're in front of a camera acting or something, people aren't continually interrupting you on camera either. There are times when you're doing your work and you just need to concentrate and be left alone. And we are up against quite the opposite of that with the crowd.
Wherever I go, I have somebody working. the door, just controlling that. Because you have a lot of people that are coming up and just to tell you, oh, the music has been amazing. They just want to really show you their appreciation. You know what I mean? So you have a lot of that coming up. And then you have a lot of the producers coming up and bringing you material. So, but it's hard. It's hard. You don't want to be rude, but it is. It is. And then well, what's his problem? Look at him. He's too good. He's got he's locked in like Fort Knox.
I've been at Twist for almost 6 years now. It's been a good residency. They're like really good to me. I think having residency for a DJ is better than just like guest DJing here or guest DJing there, because, well, for one, it's steady money, and for two, then you have a place. I even have people ask me sometimes like, well, don't you want to work at Twist on Friday or Saturday? And I tell them, I'm like, well, anybody can work on Friday or Saturday, because bottom line is people are going to go out. But go work on a Tuesday night like I do and pack them in, and then we'll talk. My typical work day would entail 2 hours of getting ready. Yeah, it takes me that long. Who knew? And then I get here, I drop off my records, and then I go shopping for records. And then I come back and I start. I go shopping for records before I start work, because I find that it puts me in a really good state of mind, because I really, really like shopping. I work till generally 5, because the clubs stay open till 5.
No, I never thought I would be where I am. I never thought this is where it would go.
All over, from Greece, Amsterdam, to Costa Rica, Canada, the US, Israel now.
It's been a little insane. I'm gonna slow it down. It's really affected my studio work a little bit. I've neglected it a little bit, and I gotta slow down. I have to eliminate some of these gigs, because last year I was out of the country every weekend or in another city. It was insane. I didn't even have time to unpack my bag, and I was getting on another plane. So, and I neglected my residency in New York, and I neglected my studio work, so I have to chill out with the traveling.
The bigger my career gets, the busier I've gotten. And I'm not always as accessible with the crowd. The parties are great. The crowds are much bigger. It takes more concentration. It takes more homework to stay on top of things and to make this many people happy.
Getting stuck in airports for 8 hours and all that, and not being able to get out of a city or something like that, that's stressful. But once you're there and you're playing for these audiences, and they're hearing you for the first time and they're really responding, it's really rewarding. It's really fun. And getting a chance to see the world, there's nothing better than that at somebody else's expense. That is even more better.
In 1993, when it was like I first traveled out of the country, I went to Italy, and I was playing in Naples at a famous club called Angels of Love. And everybody was facing the booth. And I was like, what are they doing? I mean, actually, I knew I knew that they warned me. I guess you could call it a warning. But they were like, be prepared, because the people, they just stand there and and then they were chanting my name with their Italian accent. I'm Italian, so I loved it. Like, Danny, Danny. I just got such a kick out of it.
When you hear him DJ for 12 hours, that's what it's like, you know what I mean? He starts you off and I remember that, and he's got the security guards here dancing to garage classics. Then he's got 19-year-olds hanging upside down off the ceiling by 4 a.m. And then he's just got everyone mentally destroyed by 8 o'clock.